pushed her out the door.
You pushed her out the door?
Yeah, 100%.
This is Trae Spurlock,
I know it doesn't
She lives
legally.
here.
I don't really give a
a military veteran and a father, unnecessarily escalating what could have been a simple arrest into a disaster.
So turn around for me.
No.
Put your hands behind your back. Step this way.
This is the tragic case of what happens when you don't listen to police instructions. To the outside world, 26-year-old Trae Spurlock was a good man, father of 3, a retired Army sergeant, and a man who had spent most of his life doing whatever he could for other people. In Casper, Wyoming, he worked to leave his military life behind and build a new life for himself, moving into a rented apartment with his girlfriend. But while it seemed like domestic bliss on the surface, Trae and his girlfriend were in a very difficult place. For the past 9 months, what was once a glowing and joyful relationship had turned into an on and off nightmare. Despite their efforts to make it work, including moving in together, the relationship was rapidly collapsing in on itself. On the night of June 6, 2024, Trae and his girlfriend had a particularly tense argument. She had grown tired of their relationship and told him that she wanted to break it off and go their separate ways. News that did not go down well with Trae. Outraged by the dumping, he ordered her to leave the home that they had come to share. But while he wanted her gone as soon as possible, she wanted to stay and gather her things before leaving. However, the tensions within that house were so great that he could not just let the situation go. Instead, he grabbed her, dragged her to the door, and forced her out before slamming it in her face. Shaken by the ordeal, she immediately called the police and reported that her boyfriend had assaulted her. Technically true. When police reached the scene just after 9:30 p.m., they found their victim shaken and scared outside. She told them everything that had happened, her story portraying Trae as a dangerous and unstable man, one that she did not feel safe around anymore. Officers did all they could to contact their suspect but failed to get through. Repeatedly, Trae ignored them and denied any kind of contact, but his girlfriend needed to gather her things, providing the officers with enough of an excuse to get inside the property and make contact with Trae directly, and they immediately found something strange.
Trae!
Yeah, that checks out.
Casper, PD, in here? What is that?
Looks like blood. I don't know if it's from me or not. I don't think so. It might be from him.
The blood on the wall confirms that whatever altercation happened there was serious, and that Trae is, in fact, a dangerous man who is not afraid to cause harm to those around him. And while officers may have interpreted his silence as being evidence he fled the scene, they could not be more wrong.
He's out here. He's got a rifle sitting next to him.
The image of Trae waiting in his pajama pants with a rifle immediately signals red flags in the officers' heads. It suggests that he's been waiting for something, whether that is his girlfriend returning to the apartment or the arrival of the police. But either way, he seems completely unfazed by the arrival of the officers. While most suspects would make a hell of an effort to claim innocence, or at the very least de-escalate the situation, before it even begins, Trae takes a very different tactic in dealing with the police. In fact, he takes the worst possible tactic.
I know,
trespassing.
but we have to
shoot you.
No, you couldn't.
I don't care. Death by cop doesn't sound too bad. But what do you want?
While it is impossible to know why he decided to go down this road, we can safely assume that any other experienced and decorated military veteran would know just how terrible an idea it is to try and start a fight with multiple armed officers on an upper level of an apartment building. But when officers ask about the altercation, he shows no signs of mellowing.
I told her to get the f*** out.
Okay.
And so I pushed her the f*** out. She wouldn't f***ing leave.
Okay. Can you step in here?
No.
Can you step in here away from the rifle so that we can talk?
Go ahead.
It's behind me. What do you want?
Yeah, like 3 steps behind you.
Yeah.
From law enforcement.
Okay.
That's plenty of time for you, Joey.
So,
Just want you to know how.
I pushed her out that f***ing door.
you pushed her out the door?
Yeah, 100% did.
Okay, why?
I'm tired of her shit.
The officers are understandably cautious around Trae. Not only has he already demonstrated a willingness to inflict pain on those around him, but he's not even bothering to defend his actions. It immediately makes it clear that this is not going to be a simple de-escalation case. While the male officers attempt to reach Trae, the female officer is working with the victim to gather her things. She has a critical question to ask, but the answer will change everything for the officers.
You said that's an airsoft gun? Huh? Did you say that's an airsoft gun, or is that a real gun? Does he have a gun? Rifle? He has a gun with him? A rifle. It's on the porch.
He has that with him. Yeah, it's real.
It's real. Just making sure.
The revelation that Trae is just steps away from a real gun poses an even bigger problem for the officers, who have to contend with his increasing hostility while attempting to de-escalate a rapidly intensifying situation. Just one wrong move and the whole evening could become a bloodbath.
All is the same with her. I'm tired of it. I'm just trying to leave. I go to work, I come home. Today, I went to work at 7 a.m., came home, it was perfectly fine. She went to the beach with a good time, cool. I didn't want to talk. She keeps asking me stupid questions. I'm tired of asking them. I told her I'm just done with this. She was like, cool, I'm leaving, whatever. She screamed at me, I screamed at her. She screamed at me again. I told her to get the out.
Even in his retelling of the event, Trae is careful with his words, framing his girlfriend as the aggressor and wrongdoer in all of it. Despite his blatant disregard for the officers, he's still doing everything in his power to paint himself as a kind of victim. But the officers have seen the terror he's inflicted on his girlfriend and the blood-stained wall. And that evidence, coupled with his total lack of respect or remorse for what he did, tells them everything that they need to know. He did this.
I'm not going to jail tonight. I hope you know that. Like,
What does that mean?
I'm just letting you know I'm not going to jail tonight. That's why that rifle's there. I'm not going to jail tonight. Either death by cop or not. I've been in plenty of firefights in my life. I'm afraid of another one.
And even worse, he's willing to double down on it, no matter who gets hurt.
You just said you're gonna fucking shoot me.
I didn't say I was going to shoot you. I said I wasn't going to jail. You can take implications.
You said if you're going to go to jail,
video camera
that you're going to fucking shoot us.
I didn't say you were going to shoot you. If I want to shoot you, I could have picked all three of you off. I can hit on Ironsides. I can hit a paper target from 300 meters away. If I wanted to kill you guys, it would have already been done before you walked out your car when you guys all showed up in the convoy. I didn't say I was going to shoot you. I said I'm not going to jail.
Up until now, Trae has been belligerent, rude, and argumentative, but now he's openly threatening the arresting officers, leaning on his military sharpshooting abilities to position himself as a threat. It is a desperate intimidation tactic, an effort to make himself seem so formidable that no highly trained cop could ever take him down.
Are you not going to step inside for me?
No. I just told you that multiple times. You're going to keep asking me, I'm going to keep telling you the same answer.
Okay, because I want to avoid what you're talking about with your rifle.
My rifle's just sitting there.
Yeah, I know it is.
I'm allowed to have it right there.
Okay.
This is not in gun state.
Okay, but you don't understand why I'm concerned that you just talked about having a shootout with cops.
About that. Listen here, I did 2 deployments overseas. I understand that. I understand about the whole whole bunch bullshit.
I don't want to shoot anybody right now.
Okay, cool. You're there. I'm here. We're perfectly fine having a civil conversation. Are we not? Are we not having a civil conversation right now?
Sure.
Okay. You're the one escalating this right now.
I'm not escalating. You're the one that brought up having a shootout with cops.
No, I didn't say it was a shootout. I said I'm not going to jail. That's all I said. I'm not afraid of getting in a gunfight. There's been plenty of them. Did never say I was going to shoot a cop. Those words never came out of my mouth. That camera right there, and right there, and right there. Actually, yours is not on, but yours too. Oh,
I've got a newer one.
It's a new one.
Okay. Well, all 3 of your cameras will show that. Those words never came out of my mouth to shoot a cop. Ever.
Okay, have a shootout, whatever you want to call it.
I didn't say shootout.
But you understand why I'd like you to step inside.
Okay.
Once again, Trae brings up his military experience as a means of trying to guide the officers into being intimidated by him. But his endless semantic arguments are not helping matters, especially as he falsely claims never to have said anything about a firefight with the officers. It's just an impossible approach to justify, and one that will always end in disaster.
Okay, but why won't you step inside for me?
Because I'm not going to get close to you guys. Because I can't win a 3-on-1 scenario. That ain't happening.
I'm in the apartment.
Who's talking about winning a 3-on-1
Well, there's
scenario?
3 of you all right there. If you want to back up, I'll step inside the door. But I'm not stepping inside this door with you 2 foot from me.
Okay, you want to step inside
You want to step to the
and
bookcase.
close the screen door for me?
There's.
The sliding glass door.
I'm not closing the sliding glass.
For the first time, officers see signs of movement, but it's not enough to convince them that the situation is any kind of under control. Trae is still not willing to follow orders given to him by the officers, and by pushing the officers away, he may well be trying to buy himself time to grab his rifle and open fire. The officers have to be extremely cautious.
Step
Look
inside.
at that. Look at that. All right.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
The door's still open.
Yes, the door is 100% still open.
Okay. Can you work with me one step further and close the door?
I will close it halfway. I'll give you that. I will give you that much.
The officers are close to securing the perfect circumstances for the arrest. If they can continue to negotiate and convince Trae to fully close the door, they'll lock him out from his rifle, making it significantly easier to stage the arrest. The only problem is that they have a legal obligation to inform Trae of what he's being arrested for, and how he reacts to that could make a huge difference to the outcome of this standoff.
It's not a huge deal.
Yes.
Like, she doesn't have any crazy marks on her or anything, but it is technically a domestic assault.
Which I understand.
Copy.
Okay? So you understand that we have to do our jobs,
I understand that.
right? Okay? So I'm trying to handle this as peacefully as possible.
And I am too. I'm meeting you halfway, am I not? What?
And I'm trying to make it not just safe for us, safe for you,
And I think I'm pretty
to do
safe.
our jobs. Because I just told you, you did just admit,
That I pushed
to
out
it.
the door. Yes.
which is a domestic assault.
Okay.
Okay?
Notice how the officers very carefully frame the situation as being for his safety, a tactic used to disarm a highly alert suspect and lull them into a false sense of security. Had they simply gone in for the arrest instantly, all hell could have broken loose. However, their clever tactics are not going as easily as they'd hoped, especially since Trae knows exactly what they're doing.
We have to deal with that further.
Okay.
Okay? And I'd like to do it after you close the door.
Because you're going to try to put me in handcuffs. Correct? Domestic assault?
Because
Correct.
I don't want
No. Am I correct?
this to escalate further.
Right. So, technically, next steps, domestic assault, if I'm wrong, is you put me in handcuffs, you take me to the down jail, and you process me. You do my fingerprints, you do everything else. Am I correct? Am I correct?
Yeah, you're correct.
Yes.
Trae is about to make one of the single worst mistakes of his life, a decision so short-sighted and incomprehensible that it has to be seen to be believed.
So turn around for me,
No, I'm not.
put your hands behind your back,
No.
and step this way.
No. I will open
Okay,
this
you're
door.
gonna get 365, shots fired.
In the span of 20 seconds, Trae's life is abruptly cut short by his own foolish decision to run for his rifle. The officer discharged his weapon 7 times, hitting Trae with 6 bullets and taking him down almost immediately. But Trae was not dead. He was clinging to life. With a gun far from his reach, officers began administering first aid, but unfortunately it was not enough. After calling for the EMTs, the officers rushed Trae into the Banner, Wyoming Medical Center, but it was far too late. One of the bullets had pierced Trae's heart, effectively making any hopes of reviving him an unrealistic dream. Just hours after the standoff, Trae Spurlock was officially pronounced dead.